Hello everyone and welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott and today we're going to do a video on my EDC and my iFAK without the puppy. He's a lot of fun, but boy, he can get himself into trouble. So first let me tell a story, and it goes back to when I was a teenager, back somewhere around 13, 14, 15. I decided I wanted to go backpacking, and I got all my backpacking gear together and got everything, including the kitchen sink and huge packs and all this stuff, and I went backpacking, and I went up in the Appalachian Mountains. And I know some of you out there are going to say, well, those aren't mountains. I said, okay, well, put a pack on your back and climb some of them in the summer when it's 89 degrees with about 70 or 80% humidity, and then tell me how you feel at the top of that little short hill. But getting back to the story, I carried all sorts of stuff with me. Just like a lot of people, not only things I needed, but things I thought I needed, and then things I thought I needed that I thought I might have needed. And my pack was very, very heavy, and my trip was not as much fun because of carrying all that weight. And so in successive camping trips, I carried less and less and less and less, and then as I had jobs and whatever, I was able to buy a little bit lighter equipment and made it more enjoyable. I probably at the minimum at least halved the weight of my pack, and maybe even brought it down by 2/3, just weeding out stuff. And so with that, I'll tell you how bad it was. I took a toothbrush and I cut the handle in half to make it less weight, taking the name tags off the back of my t-shirts, really trying to make it lightweight. But anyhow, yesterday's video with the puppy tearing everything up was kind of fun, but one of the things I want to talk about is you should periodically tear apart your bug out bag, your EDC, your get home bag, anything that you carry with you, because what tends to happen is we tend to accumulate stuff, and then one day you sit and say, boy, my bag is heavy. And that's what kind of happened to me. Is I picked up my bag and said, you know what, this is getting heavy. And, someone says, well, just, suck it up, Buttercup. But really what happens is when something gets too big, it gets too unwieldy, or it gets too heavy, we tend not to bring it with us, and we tend to leave it places, either leave it at home, leave it in the truck, or leave it, or stuff it in a closet somewhere, because you don't want to carry it anymore because it's just too inconvenient. And really, that's just the way life is. It happens. And so, if you feel your bag getting too heavy, make it lighter so it'll be things that you'll carry with you. Now, I kind of have things broken down a little bit. I have my everyday carry, which are things that are on my person, and then I have a get home bag, which is really kind of a bug out bag. It's minus a few things, but it has the core stuff is the same. In fact, I have another pack that I have some other things in. And really what I do is I take the things out of my get home bag and I put it in my bug out bag, because it's the same stuff. And again, through the process of elimination, I really kind of compacted down what I really need, which isn't a whole lot. So that being said, so today, as a part of what I'm talking about, is I want to talk about the things that I carry every day. Every time I leave the house, these things are with me. And I want to talk about my first aid kit, my iFAK, my individual first aid kit, and changes I made to it, because I did make some changes. Again, things were getting heavy in my pack. And really, when you're evaluating your pack, you should be weighing, what you should be weighing is, what do I use the most? What have I never used? And then what's in the middle that I use occasionally? And then what, what contingency are you planning for? And we'll talk about that, especially in the first aid pack. So first thing I want to get into is, what do I carry every day? And that's basically 6 items that I carry with me every day when I leave the house. The first one's actually 2 items. It is a pen and a piece of paper. I learned this from the Army. We always said in the Army that there's 3 P's to having a successful Army career, and one was be in the proper place at the proper time in the proper uniform, and if you were an NCO, have a piece of paper and a pen to write notes down. We were required, or at least when I was in as an NCO, we were required to carry a memo book and either a pen or a pencil. I still carry it to this day. A lot of the stuff that I used to put into a notebook now goes into my cell phone, but I still use this, and sometimes I have to give somebody a phone number, or I get a phone number. It goes in here. I tear the pages out. This is a non-permanent journal, so when it gets filled up, I basically make sure there's nothing important in here. I throw it out, and I have a couple more. So those are the first 2 items. The pen goes in my pants pocket. The notebook goes in my shirt pocket. Next item I carry is a light. I got this for Christmas from my daughter-in-law. It runs on 2 AAA batteries, and I really like this light. It's thin, it's light, I can slip it into my pocket, it's got a little clip. It's bright, and I use it in my profession, so I'm using this every day. The only thing I don't like about it is that it requires AAA batteries, and the other tools I use in my profession use AA batteries, and so I have to carry extra AA batteries, and now I'm carrying extra AAA batteries. So as much as I like this light, probably what's going to happen is I'm going to buy myself a AA light, either a single or a double AA light, and that's what will go in my pocket. Okay, we talked about this yesterday. I always carry a spark or fire with me. If you looked at my puppies video yesterday, we talked about this. It's piezoelectric. It runs off a battery. However, it's rechargeable with a micro USB port. And then what I've talked in the past, and what I'll talk about again in the future as I'm re-going through my kit, is I carry several items that I use to recharge my cell phone, because a cell phone is very important. And so this takes a micro USB port, so everything I can use to recharge my cell phone, I can use to recharge this, including I have a solar powered battery pack, which means this pretty much has an infinite amount of recharges, or probably at least my lifetime anyhow. So I used to carry a Zippo, but then I had to carry extra lighter fluid. Now I'm multitasking or using multi-purpose tools. I have batteries that recharge this. So I really like this thing. It's waterproof. It works well. Of course, car keys. I mean, even if we're going in my wife's car and she's driving, I bring my car keys with me in case she loses hers, and we still need to either get home or get in the house. So I keep a set. I keep a wallet. I use one of these little flat wallets. I got it probably about a year ago. I like it a whole lot. It's a lot better than the leather wallet. That squeaky noise you're hearing is my air conditioning unit. Still keeps life cold, but it does get a little noisy from time to time. I do keep some cash with me. And then the last thing we talked about this yesterday is my Benchmade bug out. It's a great knife. What I really like about it is it's thin and it's light. As I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate lightness. You know, I think if Buck made a knife like this, I'd just as easily carry the Buck. Like I said in my other video, I'm perfectly happy with the folding hunter. It's just it's a lot heavier and requires a belt pouch. But I think if Buck had something like this, I'd be just as happy. I'm not, you know, I'm not into the high-end steels, freaky stuff. So, but that's what I carry as part of my everyday carry. And so I want to talk about the first aid a little bit, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another video for first aid, since I'm already kind of 10 minutes and I don't want to, you know, have a real long YouTube video. So, but really I applied the same thing with first aid. I've really cut down on the amount of stuff I carry. I really feel I can, you know, pretty much cover everything I need to cover. But you know, I was carrying a regular tourniquet and its pouch and all this other stuff, and then I really looked at the probabilities. You know, what are the probabilities that I'm going to need that stuff? And the answer was that it's kind of slim. And so while I still have first aid supplies for those incidents in my get home bag, they're just not as robust, because you know, I'm not looking for that type of injury. In other words, I'm not looking for trouble. Now, I'm going to put a caveat there and say that in my truck I have a Army medical belt pack, like a little trauma pack that is stuffed full with that sort of stuff in my truck. So it's not like I'm out in the middle of nowhere and have nothing. It's just that I don't carry that stuff, you know, with me. But it is with my truck, and part of my, you know, bug out, which I really don't plan on doing. You know, my first priority is to stay home. But if I'm bugging out, I'm going in my truck, so that's going to be with me anyhow. So I'm going to wrap this up for now. This is just one short video. I'm going to go back and kind of retool for my first aid video. That's going to take some time, and so I want to kind of split this up a little bit. Hope you enjoyed the video yesterday. I almost didn't publish that, but it was kind of funny having, you know, having a 9-week-old, it's a 9-week-old 17-pound puppy just, you know, just wreak havoc with you. So stay tuned. I'm going to do this video, then I'm going to do another one on first aid. We'll see you. Stay safe, stay secure.